Someone asked me to talk about how they could take their poetry and convert it into songs. And I'm sorry to whoever asked me that. I can't find where they asked the question, but I'm going to answer it here. So there is a difference between a poem and a song, structurally speaking. And one of the key differences is that most songs have that hook title phrase that comes back over and over and repeats itself. Now, not every song needs to be a verse chorus structure. Some of them are like verse, verse, bridge, verse, or verse, refrain, verse, refrain. But in those cases, when there isn't a conventional chorus, the verse itself often ends with the title phrase and or the refrain has the title phrase at the end of every verse, or the verse begins and ends with the title phrase. And then the bridge functions for contrast. So the thing about a poem that may need to be massaged and nuanced is you may need to find a way to come back to a repeating line over and over at the ends of sections. That is one thing. The other thing is there needs to be contrast between your sections. So melodically speaking, you're probably going to want, if the poem has a consistent rhythmic cadence to the lines, I'm assuming this is a poem that rhymes. If it's a poem that doesn't rhyme, that's probably going to need a little bit more nuance to turn it into a song. But a poem that rhymes, if the entire poem has the same rhythmic cadence throughout, you're probably going to need to take it and, for the contrasting sections, place that rhythmic phrasing differently in the measure so that your song itself does not have the same rhythmic phrasing from the beginning to the end. So those are the two key things that I, off the top of my head, am thinking you need to be mindful of converting a poem to a song lyric. One is bring back that title phrase frequently and in places where it feels intuitively right and satisfying, and then also creating rhythmic contrast and melodic contrast between the sections.